Well, that was a movie. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode on my channel. As always, I'm Jay, and today, guys, I'm doing this video, and you know what, I wasn't really sure if I was going to, just because there's a whole bunch of reviews out on it, and the consensus is that, generally speaking, the film isn't doing so well among critics and some fans that have seen it. Now, buyer's remorse could be used to sum up my feelings, but let's go into a little bit further detail. So the story takes place with these handful of mutants who are actually in an institution in a secluded area where they can't leave, and of course each of these mutants has kind of a dark past, a dark history, with some skeletons in their closet, and there is kind of this strange happenings that are going on, almost like a horror or haunting type of thing going on, as we had been led to believe by the trailers and everything. And the prospect of having a sort of horror superhero film in the works and actually seeing it on the big screen was a huge proponent on this. And to be fair, the film had a lot going against it, especially since a lot of people wrote it off because it was one of those transitional films from Fox being bought to Disney, and then on top of that, between rumored reshoots and all these other things that I heard about, which I can't really confirm, it's very tough to see and feel like you're getting the authentic, true vision of the film, not to mention that it was PG-13 and not rated R like I thought it should be, and it looked like it was going to be on the onset of the trailers and everything. So that being said, I really didn't dig this film. It was very, very lackluster from a lot of different fronts. The cast, on paper, everyone there is seeming like they've got a good pedigree of acting and they have a lot of things to offer, but each of them inside of this film really didn't do much. I mean, Maisie Williams, Arya Stark, really had a kind of a lovesick puppy kind of role in this. Makes sense probably for the character and where she's coming from, but didn't work well. The main girl who plays Danielle Moonstar, I wanted more from her. I didn't feel the intensity, and I just felt like there was a lot of moments that were kind of dumbed down or that weren't really 100% authentic, and they didn't go for the gold with how the performance was handled. And then you had the girl from Glass and Split playing Magic, Ileana, who is also, fun fact, apparently Colossus' sister, which I would have loved to have seen that cameo. But basically, she's doing a mean girl archetype, and at that point, I'm just like, okay. And it's just like, that's just how this whole film felt. And again, I don't know whether it was reshoots or massive kind of cuts and edits and everything, but I mean, when you're promising us a hard-edged kind of horror suspense thriller in the shape of a comic book adaptation, and we don't really get that, that's a really big bummer. And I think that that's really what it is that the hype killed this film. It really shouldn't have been released in theaters. It would have been better just to go straight to streaming, to be honest, and I feel like it was a waste of time and money that it went into the theaters in general. Maybe it's me not having been too familiar with the New Mutants and the comics, and generally speaking, and this group of people, or heroes, or characters, but even still, the film really didn't offer much. It didn't offer much. I really didn't feel excited after watching it, and I sure as hell wasn't left wanting more, and even the studio wasn't, because there was no end credit scene, and everything wrapped up in a nice little bow at the very end of the film. Where does this film even fit into the old Fox X-Men films? Is it after Logan? Is it, right after X-Men Apocalypse? Because there were two different things where they were alluding to the Essex Corporation, which of course is Essex being Mr. Sinister, and you notice that with the pin that the Doctor had in this freaking movie, which I thought would have been awesome if we actually got to see Mr. Sinister, but that's asking for too much, of course. And not to mention that, but the whole film was so damn predictable. From the first few moments of the film, I knew exactly how it was going to play out. I knew exactly, spoilers, what was going to happen, and the fact that the big antagonist and evil force inside of the entire film that's haunting everybody was with Danielle. And there was no suspense. There was nothing left to the imagination. Everything was kind of so subtly obvious. But again, the way the film played out, it was lackluster, it was predictable, it wasn't tonally proper. They didn't go for the gold as far as the horror aspect, because it really failed at that. I didn't feel scared or suspenseful, even though they had these smiley guys in the film that could have been something so fierce and crazy. The scariest part in the entire film is when Sunspot comes face to face with his ex-girlfriend that he basically burned to a crisp. And I knew that was going to happen, so it really wasn't that scary in the first place. But in the end, guys, honestly, I feel like this is the worst out of all the X-Men films. Worse than X-Men Origins Wolverine, worse than what some people consider to be the complete crapshoot of Dark Phoenix, even though I liked Dark Phoenix more than X-Men 3, which is the worst of the worst as far as I'm concerned in the entire series. Just saying. So I gave it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. But guys, what did you think about the New Mutants? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments down below. And guys, if you dug this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are subbed, make sure you hit that bell button. That way you never miss a moment of my content. But as always, guys, I'm Jay, and that's all the time that I have for today. So until next time, take care, and bye.